And so is Jesus a man's man, or that man's version that your father tried to teach you about is not really what being a man is? Is a man, what you saw in Jesus, which is the opposite of a man's man?
Yes, in many ways. Look, there were some principles that my dad taught me that was right. I'll tell you another thing my dad taught me, which was good, and he was right on. He said to me, Michael, always be kind to the little people in life. Now, when he said little people, he wasn't being offensive. It was just his way of saying it. The guy that valets your car, person you walk by that's sweeping the floors, little people, he said, they're the ones that make you strong. Not the big ones. The big ones are looking to keep you down. The little people, you have more people liking you and wanting to be. Look, we walked into the Copacabana. I don't care who was there. Joe Colombo, I can say it now. They catered to my father. Julie Padell, the owner, he loved my dad. Why? My father was the most gracious guy when he went in there. He didn't have to push his weight around. They knew, but he took care of everybody. I'm watching. He took care of everybody. Everybody loved him. Oh, Sonny, Sonny, Sonny. And I kind of patterned my way because I saw it worked. So you emulate things that work. But, on the other side of this thing, my dad taught me things that weren't right, that we're not supposed to do as law-abiding human beings, obviously. But Jesus, everything he taught, the wisdom, the way he treated kids, he was just so wise. And look, there's no denying that Jesus died on the cross. Nobody denies that. There's other sources written about it and about him. That alone, the strength, power, and courage, there's no human being that could have done that. I went to Israel, I was in Jerusalem, and I walked the Via Dolorosa where Jesus walked, and I looked at everything, and it just hit me. What that man, he was a man, what that man went through to get on that cross, and the things that he said on the cross, Brian, come on. Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. He was innocent. He went through the worst possible persecution that anybody could imagine. And then the other thing that gives everybody hope, when he looked at the thief on the cross, and he said to him, today you'll be with me in paradise. This was a lifelong criminal. Saw something in Jesus. It affected him. His heart was real. He said, remember me today in your kingdom. And Jesus didn't attack him. He didn't say, what are you kidding me? You got a life, you're a bad guy. Today you'll be with me in paradise. These things hit me like, I can't tell you. I mean, a lot of people get impacted like that. But for me, it became so real. I'm that criminal on the cross. Right. I'm the guy. But I've been fortunate enough to get with it earlier on in my life. But that's why, I'll be honest with you, I have I carry a lot of guilt with my dad because I didn't talk to him enough about our faith. Now, he said he believed. I sent a chaplain in to see him in prison a while back, and she spent 3 hours with him, and she told me he accepted Christ during that time. I didn't see that in him afterwards, and I should have been more open about my faith with him, and I wasn't. And it was hard for me. Brian, I can't explain. It was just hard for me with him. And I feel like I let him down. I don't know where he is, but the other thing is, for 20 years, I've had hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of people praying for him. Everywhere I went, pray for my dad, everywhere. So I've been having thousands of, millions of people praying for him over the years, and I believe God answers prayer. So it might have been in the last few seconds of his life. It might have been when that chaplain saw him, I don't know, but I'm praying that I'll see him again.
Right, so you feel personally responsible to get these people across the goal line, right? Yeah. To get them to finally realize where their heart needs to be, and that's the one thing you're always unsure of. Maybe you regret that you didn't push even harder on your father, which was already a hard man.
Yes.
But you think you could have done more, which is the essence of
I could have
faith,
done more.
I
could have done more. It's a thin line that we cross because, whenever I speak in a church, I tell people, I'm not here to impose my faith on you. And I'm not here to turn you into a Christian. I can't do that. I'm not God. I can't do that. But I have a responsibility and obligation to share my story with you. And then you walk out of here the way you walk out of here. My job is to plant seeds. I'm here for that. Make no bones about that. And I give it my all. And, my connection with the Holy Spirit is on that stage. Because I know my job is to have him speak through me to the people that are sitting out there. And hopefully it has an impact. And look, it's worked for 25 years.